Okay, good evening, guys and girls. We are here. It is this time of the week where it is the Sunday night rant, and my intention tonight is to go over with you 11 things. That's right, 11 things that you can do in real estate to get more listings and make more sales with 6 or 7 weeks to go before Christmas time. And these things will actually set you up to actually have a good January, February as well. So they're very practical. They're not wishy-washy. They're black and white. They're straightforward. Most people will be able to do them. They involved a template. They involved a form for many of these things, and they involve a process. The process is very easy to do, and I can tell you, the good thing is that whatever I'm going to talk to you about tonight is currently working for a real estate agent as a core strategy in their business. So you're not a guinea pig. So guys and girls, let's move straight in. So hi to Anmol, hi to Rob Travato that's coming in, hi to everyone that's coming in. This is being streamed both on Insta and Facebook. So let's get the show on the road, and I'm going to move on to the first of the 11 strategies, that can help you win more business. Hello, Dick. I know that you're in Sweden as we speak. Is that right? Dick is, by the way, Dick is one of the nice people of real estate that's emerged in Australia over the last 6-7 years. He's the owner of Deercrit, which is a company that, Google it. You should know about them if you're watching this. If not, make it your business to find out what they do. One of the few companies that I would say is a prop tech business that came in early on the scene, not like a lot of the prop tech businesses that have come onto scene in recent stages. Some of these new prop tech businesses are good, but some of them I think have actually missed the boat. Anyway, guys and girls, a big wave to everyone that's waving to me. Rob, Maddie Steinway, good way. Hello to everyone. Johnny Manos, good to have you back. So let's start off. The first strategy I want to talk to you about that's going to help you is what I call the guarantee of service. The guarantee of service is a simple one-page document. And this one-page document can actually form part of your listing presentation. And then what you actually do is, particularly if there's a vendor that are apprehensive about which agent to go, you give them a safety blanket. And the one-page guarantee basically goes off and says you're going to do all of these things. And it's nicely printed, black and white. And then at the bottom it says that if you were failing to do any of those things, that they could give you notice. And then if you didn't rectify the issue within 24 hours, they could cancel the agency agreement. Now, I can tell you many of my real estate gym members love this form because what it does is it gives safety to the person. We clearly know that guarantees are used in most product or services, yet in real estate, the issue is that someone can sign up with an agent, get the wrong agent, and then they're stuck with the agent for 3 months. What this does is allows the vendor to realize if they are going to have a nightmare experience with the agent from hell, that they have got an out. And our real estate agents in the gym have rarely ever had to release anyone on the guarantee of service agreement. So it's a fantastic form. It's a fantastic insurance policy for vendors, and it gives real estate agents great confidence to actually ask for the business, knowing that their vendors have got this get out clause. So that's the first one. The second thing I'd like to talk to you about is called the competitor destroyer. The competitor destroyer is a form that you send out prior to you going to the listing presentation, and you can send that as an email as part of a pre-listing kit. You can actually have it delivered with your pre-listing kit in any package that you actually hand deliver or your assistant hand delivers. And the competitor destroyer, and what I might actually do is actually read out some of the questions that the competitor destroyer has in there. It's basically a questionnaire. And what the questionnaire does is basically say, Well, let me read it out to you. Here we go. What the questionnaire says is the following. Before you appoint an agent, here are 11 questions. Here are 11 questions. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Here are 11 questions that you should ask, 11 questions that you should be asking your agent. And let me read out some of these questions. Questions number 1, how much money are you investing in personal development each year, and what training are you doing? So these are questions that you provide a vendor and say, before you list your property on the market, here are some useful questions to ask agents you're interviewing that are important in helping you make a better decision. And the first question is, how much money are you investing in personal development each year and training that you're doing? The second question is this, can I have a list of the last 10 sellers with their contact details for reference purposes? Now, if you're a new agent and you haven't sold many homes under your name, get permission to include the sellers and clients of other agents in your offers. Do you see what I'm doing? Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to provide a list of questions that your vendor's going to ask, that you're going to make sure that you actually cover these in your listing presentation, and you have the answers to these questions when they get asked by you. Question number 3, what is your list to sell ratio? Question number 4, what is your current average days on market? Question number 5, what is your average selling price versus the average selling price per year as per logic? Sorry, I'll repeat that again. What is your average selling price versus the average selling price as per core logic or price finder in your suburb? Next question, can you show me a copy of the progress report you'll be sending me, and please explain how I'll be receiving it? Guys and girls, that is in the real estate gym, so is the guarantee of service, and I can tell you, it actually is a nightmare for an agent that walks into a presentation and has a vendor that goes off and asks all these questions. It's like they get buckled and they get rattled. It is a fantastic form that actually pushes your strengths, and actually goes off and it highlights the weaknesses and exposes the deficiencies of the other agents. Let me move on, guys and girls, to the third thing that I'd like to cover today, and that is, we've done the guarantee of service, now we talked about the competitor destroyer. The third thing I'd like to cover today is a form, and it's a sensitive issue. It's a sensitive issue because whenever we talk about deceased estates, I can tell you that it would be quite contrived, or I'm thinking of a word to explain it. Anyway, I think if I run through it, you'll understand that you've got to do it in a very tasteful way. But here's the deal. What we clearly know is that deceased estates are actually captured by government, right? And our real estate gym members have been exposed to this before, and that is that every time a deceased estate appears, there is a website, and it is done by each state. You actually get to know the address of the property, and you actually get to know who is actually looking after the estate. And that says to me, that allows you the opportunity to make yourself known, because what we clearly know is that these people most likely will be looking for a real estate agent in the near future. And in terms of quality of listings, well, we clearly know, hello, John Yateman, we did a great auction for Channel 9, which we're going to see on TV at Punch Bowl on Saturday, which we clearly, and that was a deceased estate too, correct. So good timing. So guys and girls, Natalie, I hope you're recovering in hospital, sweetie. I hope, and it means the world when you send a message saying that the rants and the auction posts are a great distraction for you while you're in hospital, Natalie, and I hope you recover very quickly. And if anyone's going through a difficult time, filled my energy on getting better mentally or physically. So let me just move on. Let me just move on and talk to you a little bit about the next one. So we've covered the deceased estates. Now, Susan, do us a favor, maybe for those that are in New South Wales, to give you an idea, just put the link in there in the comments. Just put the link in there in the comments on the deceased estates website for the New South Wales. Now, let's move on to the next thing that you could be doing in real estate in November and December to actually have a far better life. And the next one is this. Listen to me very carefully. Hello, Bernard. Is get ready for it. The traditional letterbox drop. The traditional letterbox drop. Now, hear me out. Today I had a conversation with Federico Fragamatos, who's actually watching this on Instagram as we speak. I've just seen his name pop up. And Federico told me that one of his core strategies that has given him success, he's had a very good run, he's been getting into a lot of doors, is learning the art of the drip feed letterbox drop on a consistent basis. So what he actually does is this. He is doing 2,000 to 3,000. Hello, George Samuels, how you going? He's been doing 2,000 to 3,000 letterbox drops a week. That's right, a week. And I can tell you, there is, yes, Robert, I'll let you know how to get those questions. Can I just say to you that he's doing 3,000 letterbox drops a week, right? 3,000. It's costing him around $300. That is the printing and the distribution of them. So what you're doing, he's doing what David Ding does, by the way, at Harcourts. David Ding does that at Harcourts, right? And that is, you are drip feeding consistently because it's all about a matter of timing. So if you think about it, what's actually happening is your farm area is consistently seeing you. So what actually happens is when you're actually doing some door knocking or running into people that open for inspections or any kind of interaction, what's happening is marketing is working in combination, not in isolation. And the DL letterbox drop is playing a core strategy in that because they're always seeing it. Now, let's just basically do the numbers, right? So it's going to cost you $300 a week, right? $300 a week. So that's $1,200 a month. So that's $10,000 a year, right? At the end of the day, think about it. If you are going to be in people's faces every week, and it's going to cost you $10,000 of tax deductible expenses, that is bloody an investment in your business, right? Again, this is not a single-pronged strategy. This is a strategy that works in combination with everything that you do. Let's move on to the fifth one, And the fifth one came from one of our real estate gym members, which is Sam McIntyre. And let me see if I can bring it up. So what Sam McIntyre suggested is, let me bring it up here. Okay, it's a very simple, you can send this as an email, you can send this as a text message, but here it is. The heading is Plan for 2020. Just hear it out. Plan for 2020. Hi, I'm reaching out because several of my clients are now making plans for 2020. I know plans can change quickly and I would love to know how things are going with you. Which of these situations best describes your current situation? And then it is actually got 5 options. Option number 1, I have no plans, I love my home. Option number 2, I'm curious how much my home could be worth now. Option number 3, I'm planning on making a few home improvements. Option number 4, I'm planning on making a move soon. Option number 5, I'm thinking about downsizing. Then it says, please let me know as I may be able to provide you with some useful information and I'm happy to meet for coffee to discuss. Look forward to your response. Now, this campaign can be sent by SMS, letterhead, automated voicemail, which is a company that I recommend, Tricall. email, video message, right? And guys and girls, I have to say to you that this is a superb lead generator. By the way, everything I'm talking about here is actually in the real estate gym. So there's always templates there. You go in, say, I want stuff to actually get into more doors. I need, the competition destroyer. Everything I'm talking about is in the real estate gym. So let's move on. And by the way, while I've got you, if you're a sort of person that actually is shy on camera, may I suggest that there is an app, a Teleprompter app, that you record your videos as you read them off a screen. You just hold an iPad up and it actually has got the words, so you could basically come across like a newsreader using this app. And this is something that was sent out to our real estate gym members on Friday, those that are particularly nervous about not having their script. So what actually happens is you can even use your mobile phone. It's basically you being a newsreader, and you're going to sound like a newsreader. Alrighty, let's move on to the next tip. Again, guys and girls, I told you they'd be very black and white, straightforward, but I wanted to make sure that today we gave you some really good content. The next thing that's going to help you is having a measuring device for your prospecting, right? So you can have one of two. One is that you can go to Bunnings Hardware and you can buy a counter for $30, right? This counter. And what happens is every call connect that you make, you press on the counter and it measures the calls that you have, and then you can record them into your diary, you write it in, or you can type it into your notes. Because remember this, what you measure, you manage. And this simple device that you'll buy for $20, $30. Now, a lot of my real estate gym members actually just used my prospector, and my prospector is already embedded into the real estate gym just for you. So no one else sees how much prospecting you're doing, and it records it. It records it daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Why? What gets scheduled gets done. What you measure, you manage. And I have to say to you, many of my real estate gym members just stay for the real estate gym just because of the simplicity of my prospector. It gives you 45-minute call sessions. Why? Because Salesforce studied many years ago that 45 minutes appears to be a time that people can concentrate to do calls and then have a break for 15 minutes. And if you did 2 to 3 45-minute sessions a day, your real estate life would change dramatically. So that is in the real estate gym as well. The next thing I want to talk to you about is, real estate gym members are going to get a video I did with Blount, who wrote the book Fanatical Prospector. That is coming out next week to our gym members, and I thought I'd just give you a taste of some of the content that Jeb covers. The first thing is this. He covers what is called the law of universal need. Listen to what this law is. The law of universal need says the following: the more you need something, the less likely you will get it. I'll say it again. The more you need something, the less likely you will get it. Hello, Tanae Jane. And Tanae is to me the poster boy for the real estate gym. A guy that I just saw right through my own eyes, that started with very little, started with doubt, started with average language skills, started in a marketplace he knew no one, and he basically went off. He got the best stuff out of the real estate gym and he implemented, and my prospector was a tool that he used to force himself making calls. Today, he's on his 97th sale or 96th sale for the calendar year. So, Jeb Blount talks about the law of universal need, which says the more you need something, the less likely you're going to get it. Right? Think about it. The more you need something, the less likely you're going to get it. Right? Think about this. It basically happens for 3 reasons that. It happens because of these 3 reasons. It happens, number 1, because of the law of attraction. The law of attraction. The law of attraction basically says, if you're focused on something, right, and that is, geez, I'm desperate, what actually happens is that's what you attract in your life. So that's the first thing. The law of universal need works because the law of attraction happens. The second reason why it happens is that people can sense your desperation, and no one wants to deal with a desperate person. And the third reason why the law of universal need happens is because you become emotional and illogical, right? When you're desperate and you need something, you become desperate and illogical. And you know what happens? You make poor decisions. And poor decisions give you poor actions. And poor actions get you poor results. So it's quite logical that what you've got to do in prospecting is never put yourself in a desperate position. And desperation happens when you haven't got anyone in your pipeline. And when you don't have anyone in your pipeline, you start getting desperate. And that is what actually I mean by desperation will actually drive you further away from the thing that you actually need. The next thing I want to talk to you today about is called the Santa letter. And the Santa letter, my friends, is a fantastic tool to be using in the next 2 weeks. The Santa letter, my friends, works the following way, and I'm going to read it out to you. It's an actually step process, so here it is. The Santa letter works this way. In November, your letterbox drop the prospecting letter to your whole farm area. So you do a letterbox drop to your farm area, and that letter is in the gym, and this letter allows people to opt in to your database. They give you their contact details if they want their kids to receive a letter from Santa. So what you're basically doing is going out, doing a drop, and asking if people want to opt in and have their kids receive the letter from Santa. Then in mid-December, you actually post the letter to Santa to everyone who has opted in, and the letter is personalized with the child's name and the suburb and printed on Christmas letterhead that you can buy at a certain few places, including Officeworks, and the envelope is handwritten. Again, you just copy that template that's in the gym. And then in January, you do a follow-up of the parents and you ask how their child reacted when they received the letter. This, my friends, is simply a nice thing to do in your community, and also a lead generator of you to collect data of people that live in your area, and then allows you to have a relationship with those people that starts from something, right? And what have I said before? If you do something, something happens. If you do nothing, nothing happens. And I've got to tell you, Chris Gilmore, who's been one of our first real estate gym members and a super agent from Brisbane, great guy. He is the person that alerted me to the Santa letter. He shared it in the gym, and every November, December, it is in the marketing plans that is the set and forget of our real estate gym members. So let's move on, guys and girls. Let's move on to the next thing that you could be doing. I know it's boring, but I wanted to give you stuff that's going to help you finish your year in a flourish, and also expose you to some of the learnings that gym members are getting all the time. The next thing came from one of our gym members, Kate Strickland in Melbourne, who talks about things such as a teppanyaki night where you eat with clients and it creates a bond. Or you actually go to a place where you can actually cook food together. So you invite your clients and it's a cooking class. And what actually happens is they cook, you connect, you bond, right? And it is just a nice thing that creates relationships. And that's all our business is about, because it ain't, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for saying it's not boring. I feel that when I'm going through what and how to's, that people love normally the emotional stories and the happy stuff, but I'm just giving you stuff that I know is process driven, that creates leads to make more sales and get more listings. So what are some of the other ideas? hiring a movie night. You'll be shocked at how good a deal you can get. Play a movie at a movie theater. Invite 250 clients that have got families. Put a kid-friendly movie on. Open up the night and say, hey, I've welcomed you all. We've had an incredible year of real estate. We had some tough times. We had some good times. This is what happened with the election. This is what's happened with prices. This is what we're forecasting will happen in the future. And you basically have a chance to connect with people, and then they actually watch a movie. A fantastic investment. Guys and girls, the last thing, well, by the way, Matty LaHood, whose video is coming out this week, I believe, Matt LaHood's videos this week or next week, he talked about giving out movie tickets as a great Christmas gift to clients. The next thing is pre-Christmas list strategy. The pre-Christmas list strategy. This is the last thing I want to talk about today, and that is, like now, we've got about 6 weeks to Christmas, right? 6 weeks to Christmas. So what do you do to vendors that are potentially thinking about selling in the near future? Here's what you do. You sign them up now. Listen to me carefully. You list them now, you launch them later. If it's too late to launch in December, right? Don't leave vendors hanging over the weekend, hanging over the Christmas holidays, hanging over till mid-January, because a lot happens. What you do is you sign the agency agreement and you call it our pre-Christmas list strategy. Some people call it the pocket listing. It works this way. You say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I want to let you know that in December and January, realestate.com has record eyeballs on their properties on their website. The reason why is people have time. They have time to actually look at real estate. Even if they're sitting at a beach or watching the cricket, sitting at home, they're going onto their mobile phone and they're looking at real estate because they've got time. They've also made New Year's resolutions. So what I'd like to do is I'd hate to miss out on a hot buyer looking to buy a property like yours. And the reason why is this: there's no stock on the market over the Christmas period, which means if I've got a buyer that's motivated, vulnerable, emotional, got a loan approved, your home won't be in competition. Your home will be in isolation. So I'll be able to actually potentially get a buyer that pays top dollar because nothing else to pick from. Now, what I'd be doing is I'd be putting the property not on the market formally. I would just have it in my top pocket. And if a buyer that I knew was hot, that would like something like yours, I could actually talk to them about the property. So guys and girls, what I'm saying is the strategy is simple. List now, launch later, and go to Christmas knowing you've got controlled authorities of properties. You'll have a far better Christmas. You'll have a far better summer holiday going away, having stock locked away. And I have to tell you, the strategy I just shared with you is actually good because it's true. When there's not a lot of stock on the market, that is the best time for a vendor to get top dollar. Just like now, I'm forecasting over the next couple of weeks, we may get a bit of softening because there's this stock that has just sort of hit the market in massive numbers. Anyway, guys and girls, I hope you realize that what I'm asking you to do is to think like a CEO, guys and girls. Think like a CEO. Why? Because when you're a CEO, you manage time more efficiently, you manage resources, and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I'm looking after this business. What is the most effective and useful time of money and resources? Guys and girls, I want to let you know that if you're watching this video right now, Susan is going to pin at the top of the comments the link to the real estate gym. I would love to have you in my real estate community on the inside, because I think to myself that it works out being tax deductible $1 a day. I know that I deliver to the gym members far more than $1 a day. I know that the worst that can happen with a real estate gym membership is it costs you $620 a year. But the best that can happen is that you've got a radically different life in 3 months' time. I've got to say that those of you that join the gym for 2019 on the annual plan, 2020 on the annual plan, will be able to come in November, December, right to the end of this year and get access straight away, because I know that some of the forms and templates we talked about here, you're going to want to get access to, but you're also going to want to go off and create your own business plan that's in there, a marketing plan that's in there. You're going to want to go off and make sure you've got BIW, best in the world dialogues. You're going to want to make sure that you get into the habit of measuring your prospecting using My Prospector. You're probably going to want to make sure that you've gone in and you've got a really good social media strategy, which is very much covered in the real estate gym. And you're going to want to make sure that you've got a process-driven business that's got checklists for what's important for you, because process trumps motivation any day of the week. Guys and girls, I'm signing off. I hope you all have a fantastic week. And the real estate gym, Susan's closing it, I think, midnight tonight, she's told me. So guys and girls, Kylie Charlton, our speaker this year, been a gym member for 4 or 5 years. Man, I've got to tell you, some of the greatest real estate agents in Australia and New Zealand have said to me, Tom, the content that you produce is what we use in prospecting, at listing presentations, in vendor management. And guys, signing off, enough of my commercial there. But you know what? When you actually think something's good for someone, you actually you feel it's your obligation, your duty to not leave them stranded in confusion world. Guys and girls, I'm signing off. Adios. Have a great week. And share the video.